In today's video, I'm going to petition to you to watch Season 1 of Kamen Rider Amazons, what might be in fact my favorite Kamen Rider series of all time. It's one of those series where the more I come back to it over time, there are more things I notice from a storytelling standpoint. And rather than just explaining the entirety of Season 1, I'll present the red and green Amazons in this season in order of appearance and what their savagery represents in the overall story. That just means I'm going to talk about both of them in this video. And I'm excluding Sigma from this video, not because I don't think he's important, but because his creation is the prequel to the main shenanigans of Season 2, and I want to give that topic its own focused spotlight. So with that out of the way, like and subscribe, and let's get started. Alpha, aka Takayama Jin, is the first one on our list, and like the meme, he ain't really a family man. Jin's backstory reveals that he was part of the team that created the Amazons in the first place, and as a result, it's given him a huge level of guilt due to all the lives directly and indirectly affected by them. Because of this guilt, he willingly injected himself with Amazon DNA, and together with his lover Nanaha, has been waging a one-man war, figuratively speaking, against the Amazons let loose 2 years prior to the start of the series. In fact, let's examine his debut fight in which he indirectly helps the extermination team as a hunt for two Amazons goes sideways. The casualness he has walking onto the battlefield exudes not only aura, but suggests that this dangerous event is just another work day for him. And for the first time in the series, Jin proceeds to casually put that shit on, performing what is in fact my favorite transformation sequence in all of Kamen Rider.
Amazon. But wait, there's more.
Due to copyright reasons, I couldn't properly show you the sequence in its totality, but the force created from this transformation alone knocks everyone, man and Amazon, away like they failed a strength saving throw. And again, this aura farming we're witnessing is just another regular ass day for Jin. And Pimp,
that's the coolest thing I've ever seen.
While the Spider and Dragonfly Amazons are struggling to get their footing, Alpha takes his time figuring out who he's going to call ISO on. And I don't know about you, but if someone decided to play eeny meeny miny mo to dictate the order in which they was gonna send me and a stranger to the upper room in, I would be looking for all kinds of ways to get the fuck out of there. But they can't hear me though, so the Spider gets chosen as Alpha's first victim.
But wait, there's more.
That boy is good.
And victim is the nicest way I can say it. This fight is a fucking blowout, being both less than a minute long in real time, but it also reinforces Jin's battle superiority.
Fatality.
In fact, at any point in time until Sigma's appearance, anytime he hits the battlefield, Jin is the strongest character there. The story gives you no reason to believe he's ever going to lose until he does, and there's never a reason to worry about him when he hits the battlefield, even if the numbers are against him. And since the Amazon driver canonically hones an Amazon into a finely tuned weapon, it's safe to assume that Jin's been running around prior to episode 1, gaining all kinds of combat experience, making him the proficient fighter he is now. The dude literally got hoodwinked and held for research, and he seemed very chill about all of it while it was happening. To me, he's the walking nah I'd win meme for the majority of the season. And on the surface, Jin's mission seems pretty noble. Cleaning up what you messed up is generally a positive trait to have, so stopping man-eating monsters from doing the eating part is some classic Kamen Rider shit. But the problem is that the mission gives him a very nihilistic, rigid, and well-defined rule set that makes him overall uncompromising, dangerously single-minded, and willing to do whatever it takes to see his mission through, no matter how far it takes him. Because of his mission, he's given himself a set of codes that are more diabolical if explored. For Jin, killing all Amazons is not hyperbole. He is hell-bent on killing every single Amazon that exists. The ones he made, the new types, the zombies, all of them. To him, they are a disease to humanity, a disease he caused and it's his responsibility to clean up. But is he right for killing the Amazons who haven't done anything? I mean, if you think about it, he's an Amazon now, and I know he's been doing the no pants dance with a partner as fine as Nanaha. Does this mean if they have a baby, will it be an Amazon? Would he kill that Amazon too? The answer is yes, by the way, and all of these decisions comes from a toxic mindset that he originated for himself. After becoming a guppy man, he adopted a lifestyle that only allows him to eat the things he has grown or raised himself. It's why he's always seen eating eggs and or chicken dishes predominantly throughout the series, while Haruka and Mamoru are usually seen eating cheeseburgers to get their strength back. With that logic in mind, since he helped to grow the Amazons, he believes that it is both his right and duty to kill them so that they don't hurt any more humans. And by the end of the series, he's also taking a bite out of them like it's crime and he's Ace McGruff. That's right, he eventually starts eating the very Amazons he grew. You see how it all goes full circle? I'll speak more about Jin and how he contrasts Haruka, but to do that, we'll need to first talk about Haruka, aka the Omega Amazon and one of my favorite protagonists in all of Kamen Rider. This video is sponsored by Polybuzz, an innovative AI chatbot website that allows a user to interact with tons of characters from either established anime or video games, or even OCs you've made. With over 20 million characters to choose from to chat, roleplay, or have fun with, there is surely something for everyone, and even if there isn't one there, you can always make your own and enjoy the fun from there. Because I'm a weeb, I not only had to check it out for myself, but I also got to ask Jin, aka Kamen Rider Alpha, some questions for this video. Hello, I am a human who's doing a report about you and the Amazons. Is there any facts about you I should add to it? My report? You dare document what I am? I'm just a monster, nothing worth recording. And yeah, that sounds like him. I even got to get my RP on with Seiichi Samura from Kagurabachi during his Tobimune reveal. Killing me won't redeem you, Samura. You're only wallowing further into the darkness. Open your eyes. Open my eyes. I see clearly what needs to be done. Your life is just another stain on my hands. I've been drowning in darkness too long to turn back now. Yeah, that sounds like something he'd say too. So click on the link in the description to get your own chat started and use my promo code Lambo10 to get access to even more features. Thank you so much Polybuzz for sponsoring this video, and let's get back to it. Between you and me, the reason why I love Haruka so much is because his character feels like a protagonist from a Gundam series, and not one of the fun build fighter ones. I mean like an Amuro or the Camille type. Anyway, Haruka starts off as a nice, meek young man, real Wataru Kurenai vibes. He's also very polite and well-spoken, who's been living a peaceful life with his mom and sister after waking up from a medical-related coma 2 years ago. Hey, that's around the same time Jin started fighting Amazons. Huh, must be a coincidence. Anyway, due to that medical condition, he never really goes outside and has to constantly take medicine he doesn't like every single day. This mentioning of how it makes him feel is both foreboding to the change that will occur, and it's something that instantly makes you feel for the guy. So, being upset that his home is the equivalent of an aquarium to him, Haruka decides not to take his meds out of rebellion, and then starts slowly but surely wilding out. Something inside of him awakens and then sends his lit ass outside. Now roaming the streets in his clothes from yesterday, I might add, he listens to the voices in his head like Randy Orton and eventually makes his way to the extermination gone wrong in Alpha's first on-screen fight, allowing him to admire his newfound father figure's work. This aura forming was the push Haruka needed in order for him to finally Yasei Kaiho, revealing his Amazon form for the first time and showing the audience why his ass doesn't go outside. So now that he's a green guppy, he follows in his mentor's footsteps and takes on the Bat Amazon that was there. From here, Haruka fights for the first time, and it's a stark difference from how we're introduced to him. As the Green Guppy Man, he wildly attacks the Bat Amazon by matching it both in speed and agility. And eventually, when he gets his hands on him, he wrestles him to the ground and proceeds to get his Ace McGruff on. The Bat struggles to get the Guppy off of it, but all it does is fail its QTE. But Haruka then manages to get his own QTE off.
This, today, is one of the worst days that I've had in a long time.
And wasting no time afterwards, Haruka proceeds to wrap this shit up with one of the most brutal ways I've ever seen someone pack someone up in Kamen Rider.
Fatality.
I remember watching this for the first time, being fucking blown away by this, and remembering that this was airing during the middle of Ghost. To think something so brutal could happen in Kamen Rider after being fed so much of the Sunday variety makes the deaths in this series hit harder. This is no way the most violent thing I've ever seen in Tokusatsu, but this does a great job of establishing that this does not follow the traditional Sunday rules. Also, quick tangent, but imagine being the regular ass exterminators watching all this go down. Kikida from Geats, Clotho from Gachard, Wakabayashi, aka the Chameleon Deadman from Revice, and Human Duran from Zenkaiger are all on a team with an Amazon and two other dudes, and they all go on a mission to fight two pretty dangerous monsters. Y'all get there, start getting y'all ass whooped, and then suddenly one of the new guys, Ryusuke, aka Blue Buster, aka Match from 01, aka Ray from Gojuger, comes out of the bag and says that he's also an Amazon, and transforms mid-scuffle to try and protect Yao. In the midst of this chaos and revelation, a random nigga pulls up, suspiciously looking like Go-Go Blue, and along with some glowing girdle, transforms into a red guppy Amazon. Then a green guppy Amazon shows up. So including Mamoru, that's like 6 Amazons in the span of what, 20 minutes? I mean, sure, you know 2 of them, and the Guppies got rid of the original targets, but did you really sign up for all this? I guess the bread's that good or you're really that broke. Anyway, since it was his first time wilding out, he goes through the worst hunger pains I've witnessed on TV, and then Jin grabs him and takes him home. From here, he learns about what he truly is, meets his best girl Nanaha, and eventually is given Jin's spare belt to transform, taking us into his second fight as his official fight as a rider.
Later.
At this point, we're in episode 2. Blue Buster eventually runs away from the group because he's going berserk. And fun fact, you know if an Amazon is going to go berserk based on the color their armlet is glowing. If it's blue, good for you. If it's red, pimpin' you dead. As the extermination team begrudgingly begins to hunt Match, they arrive to find Alpha already in exterminator mode. Since the extermination team is still all emotionally attached to Ryusuke, those feelings lead to a lapse in judgment and one of them is killed because of it. Meanwhile, Haruka comes to terms with the Guppy within, that being the real him, and in this revelation, his real self commands him to aggressively put that shit on.
But wait, there's more!
No, I can't show you the whole transformation clip uninterrupted because of Toei band hammers would rain from the sky on my channel, but please watch this henshin after this. I am not kidding to you when I say these are my favorite transformation sequences in all of Kamen Rider. They're just so simplistic but impactful, you know? Haruka, now Omega, is live and racing to the scene, just in time to save Mamoru's mole-looking ass after he got clapped up by an amped Dragonfly Amazon. Nigga, look at this suit. Not only is it one of my favorite from the series, but the way it complements yet contrasts his Alpha suit is mwah. From here, Omega proceeds to fight in order to get acclimated to the driver, like a console player who started PC gaming for the first time. And just like last time, this fight is very wild and unruly, as scratching and biting are in both their movesets. After the quick and violent scuffle, the two proceed to wrap this shit up, and they go for a clashing attack and...
Fatality.
This fight, my friend, fully awakens the Amazon cells in Haruka, and he is now more attuned to himself than ever before, listening to his gut as it tells him to live freely and even face off against Jin before he has a chance to kill him. I mean, he doesn't win it all, but the fight does allow the Guppy men to gauge each other's combat abilities, as Jin's cool-headed experience rivals Haruka's savage evolution. From here, my goat confronts his mother about being an Amazon, so she spins it in her favor and deters our boy from his truth. And after that, the story for Haruka is to find out how he fits in this world, and finding out that as an Amazon, he is an all-new, all-different type. Rather than being a collection of Amazon cells, or how Jin just put Amazon cells into his body to become one, Haruka was made by making Amazon cells with human DNA in the mix at the production stage. I mean, this means like he isn't technically a human or an Amazon, but some completely different new shit, aka a new type. This explains why he's so naturally strong out the gate, being able to kill two powerful Amazons in both his debut as an Amazon and with a driver. And this also explains why he has both a natural Amazon sense and a ridiculous healing factor. If you see my Jumping Part 2 video, then you remember me using that clip of Omega getting fucking blasted in the gut by Sigma. Well, after Sigma dipped, he was admitted to care under critical condition, and it was bad, like bleeding out on the table bad. They gave this nigga some steak meat and he healed that hole in no time. For context, Jin got beat up by that same nigga and it took a whole day plus some eggs for him to heal. And this may not be important to you now, but this plays a very important factor in season 2 and why he's fucking blind guppy man in that. What I'm getting at is that Haruka's composition will mirror how he views the world around him and how he fits in. From episode 3 and onwards, Haruka joins the extermination team, and through each battle, he learns what he's capable of, and more importantly, who and what he really is. My favorite examples are the rooftop rampage in episode 4 and his complete enjoyment of combat in episode 6.
Later.
In episode 4, when the extermination team is sent to an apartment complex to deal with a growing horde of Amazons led by their queen, Haruka is sent out there to support them, which eventually leads to Jin and Haruka having a heart-to-heart on the roof about what it means to be a human or an Amazon. When Jin asks the question, you know, if you have to say you're human, that means you doubt it, right? It stumps Haruka, and as his mentor, Jin not only reiterates to him that he is an Amazon, but explains that living in this life and this profession means preying on someone else's life, whether it's directly or indirectly. It's a thing that he not only agrees with, but everyone else fighting agrees with too as well, considering the extermination team is here for that money, that kane, that guapa. Them niggas ain't heroes, they just here for money. So by accepting that truth and instilling the words of his father figure honestly, our boy locks in and my Emerald Menace wakes up once more. Awakening, Omega starts going on a spree akin to a berserker barrage. Meanwhile, Alpha takes on the Queen. Well, he was until her minions managed to grab him long enough for her to stop the humans from killing them with Amazon pesticides. Luckily, Omega was ready for this, and after letting out a roar so loud everyone could hear it, he does his best MK Scorpion impression and sends the Queen to the upper room.
Fatality.
One thing I like about Omega is that despite him and Alpha having the same driver, he is the only of the two who utilizes its weaponry, putting more emphasis on the evolution aspect of the Green Bastard. Another thing I find hilarious is Haruka during and post fights. In the moment, he's wiping blood all on himself, turned up that he's made a bunch of kills, and then in the post fight, he's just somewhere looking moody going, "Oh no, I did it again, didn't I?" Under normal circumstances, I would fucking hate this, and it's why I hated Wataru during the early parts of Kiva.
I'm like, what do you say fuck me for?
I understand why now I felt the way I felt, but that's something I usually blame on the show for not giving me enough of his struggle as a human and a fungi. Anyway, this leads to even more of Haruka's growth, dare I say evolution, in terms of his identity. When he comes to the realization that fighting for him is not only fun, but a way for him to protect the people he cares about, he uses that to anchor himself and fight at his fullest. Case in point, his fight in episode 6 with the Mosquito Amazon.
Much later.
The last time he fought one of these things, he was having medium difficulty with it, but now locked in both physically and mentally, Omega is having a back and forth with the bug. And even with the Amazon showing off a few of its hidden abilities, Omega is still able to find a way to send this mosquito to the gulag.
Stupid.
What sent me was this look. Look at this diabolical look on his face. It's the most I got this motherfucker 9 face I've ever seen him make thus far in the series, and it heavily cements the fact that he loves the thrill of combat. Now I know you can name me several Kamen writers that love to fight, but can you name me 5 pro tags who love swinging and banging? Like Zaraki from Bleach levels of love, like Hokuto from Kagurabachi levels of love. Find me that list. I think it's extremely rare to find a protagonist that just says, yeah man, I love it. I love putting niggas on pack watch. Nigga, if Hotaro from Gachard said this, I would have locked into that show a lot more often. I'll tell you that much. But don't get it twisted though. Haruka isn't perfect, and the episodes involving a group of quiet Amazons and a fucking serial killer really plays with Haruka's sense of right and wrong. Haruka wants to protect what he loves and hunts what he needs to in order to protect them. Mitsuki and the extermination squads are those that he loves, and he makes this statement of hunting anyone who harms them, regardless of them being human or Amazon. This is tested when a serial killer kidnaps Not Clotho and ruthlessly beats the dog Dookie piss out of her for 2 episodes straight. We know he's an evil fuck, and we expect him to get his comeuppance, but he doesn't. Jin won't touch him due to his code of protecting humans, and the extermination team doesn't want to touch him because they don't get anything out of it. It's also confusing coming from a regular Sunday series watcher, but it's here where we learn that there aren't any warriors of justice in this series, and we're just watching a bunch of people working out their life the best to their knowledge and abilities. They even make a point to talk about Jin's drawing a line segment, as it's something that takes a lot of mental fortitude to establish, and crossing that line might make them feel like something that they actually aren't, warriors of justice. But like, for real, none of you niggas had the idea to call the police on that anonymous tip type shit or nothing? You just gonna let the Zek director / juice bar nigga from Gone keep committing those heinous ass crimes? Whatever, I guess. Anyway, I can get to the part where now I can properly compare the 2 writers to each other. Now, when I think of Alpha and Omega, I usually just think of this show, 2 Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and an animated movie series I know turned people into furries. I just can't prove it. Conspiracy mode aside, let's go back and talk about the Amazons. Jin, aka Alpha, is responsible for the birth of the Amazons, so it makes sense why he would name himself Alpha, as he is the start of them. Haruka, aka Omega, is not only the new type of Amazon on the block, but stands to be the pinnacle of the Amazon species, or their final form of evolution. Him fighting an Amazon usually means that their end is near, and as it stands in the context of season 1, he will be the only one strong enough to defeat Alpha, being his eventual end as well. Jin represents the rigid nature having a code brings, not allowing himself to make any exceptions in his mission to exterminate every single Amazon that exists, and I'm talking about all 4,000 of them. This means that it will take an extremely large amount of persuasion to get him to budge on any of his morals or beliefs, or to change his mind, as the nihilism that comes with his mindset makes it impossible for him to think of any positive outcome. This mindset affects him on a level so deep, the best example of it is the time it took him getting his ass whooped by Sigma again just for him to team up with the extermination team to stop him, showing this agreement by the consumption of the burger he eats and not his normal egg. But even after that, he is still hell-bent on killing all the Amazons he possibly can, having no qualms with killing Mamoru or even his own adopted son if it means completing that mission. Haruka represents the desire for freedom and the flexibility of not having a structured code, allowing him to do things that he feels is right, like hunting his own kind for the sake of his loved ones. His life as an Amazon is congruent with his freedom from his home, exploring a world where he gets to decide what he wants and what is good for him. His interactions with his mother and Mitsuki outside of episode 1 are all metaphors for the things that wish to keep him contained, with his mother using him for her own goals, while Mitsuki wishes for him to return for her own selfish desire of reestablishing her home's status quo, albeit subconsciously. This mindset comes front-loaded with wonder and naivete, as a person who lives this way can come off at best as someone perpetually moving the goalposts in terms of their morals and ethics, and at worst, someone appearing or behaving downright hypocritically. Case in point, the restaurant mission, as he struggles to justify the killing of the Amazons through his combat versus killing them through the Talak Project, aka Raid for Amazons. He's totally cool with killing Amazons with his bare hands because he can justify it by saying that their bands were red or they were targeting Mitsuki. But when they find a group of them attempting to live in peace by eating a person or two here or there, he finds himself hesitating against them because they seem to have a set of rules. Yeah, they are living their lives in peace, but they're still eating humans, and it would only take one of them targeting Mitsuki for Haruka to ignore all that peace talk and slaughter everyone there. See what I'm saying? Because of this show's gray morality, it never paints what the characters do as good or bad, so rather than figuring out who's right or wrong, it forces us to make the decision on whose mindset we would co-sign with. By the time we make it to the end of the series, and Project Raid for Amazon goes into full effect on a rainy day, Jin goes out of his way to make sure that the plan's target goal gets as big as it can be. Since the rain can't wipe out all of the Amazons for real, his ass runs out into the rain and cleans up during the raid spray. Note, he is an Amazon, so the rain will affect him as well. Do you understand how crazy this nigga is now? Meanwhile, Haruka is having a realization in the rain and comes to the conclusion that being alive means eating something else to live, like for real this time. In his mind, because he isn't human, he shouldn't be bound by the rules of human instincts or ethics. Wanting to eat people isn't inherently evil for Amazons, the same way us eating cows and chickens isn't inherently evil either. By the end of the series, he not only survived the raid spray, but gets an amazing reintroduction by saving the extermination team as he beheads 3 Amazons in a row. From here, he proceeds to walk down 5 more and sends them all up to the upper room, doing it with a level of finesse and control very similar to a red Amazon earlier in the series. He now reveals that his mission is to oversee all of the Amazons that survived the raid spray by excluding them from society and protecting them from the monster that is Jin, who not only survived the raid spray too, but has gone mad from it, eating the very organs he once called grotesque for sustenance. Since Jin is now effectively the Amazon boogeyman and Haruka is their Moses, it ultimately leads to their final fight in the season. And the best way to describe it is that it's a knockdown, drag-out fight. It's so nuts that Mamoru jumps in to help Omega, the exterminator team jumps in to help Mamoru, and Haruka jumps back into the fight to finish it off. This nigga Alpha was running the gauntlet out there, and with a performance like this, I understand why Toei brought him back to play Falchion and Saber. Eventually, this leads to both of them attempting to input a fatality on one another, but it ultimately ends in a draw. And for me, I always look at this fight as a battle of ideas more than a physical fight, as each guppy has something that they're willing to stand 10 toes down on. This toxically structured Showa mindset clashes with the arbitrary flexibility of a Heisei mindset, and with neither willing to give ground, their fight ends with a bloody agree to disagree. In the end, neither are defeated nor victorious, just forced to retreat until they eventually clash again and again and again, until the last movie and Haruka finally packs him up. But yeah, that's the video. Why did y'all let me talk so much about Amazon? There shouldn't be any reason I should have 30 minutes to talk about Amazons for. What the fuck is wrong with you? I'm just playing. I really do love Amazon. This is one of my favorite series of all time. I can do a whole nother video essay explaining how the side characters make Haruka and Jin look even cooler with how they interact. But the world just feels so cohesive and it feels all together. Man, I'ma shut up. Ways to support the channel are in the description below. Getting this video to 12,000 likes just means that you love me, and it's great motivation to get more content out. So like, comment, subscribe, and be like polybuzz and give me $5.